Well, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee, and I hope you all got your tea or your coffee. Everybody always wants to know what kind of tea you're drinking when you're a tea drinker. This happens to be chamomile, and I got it sweetened with my maple syrup. Oh, and it's delightful. Anyway, my beautiful table and my ashtray. I'll move that. Anyway, it is, it's like 40 some degrees today. It's the 26th of March, and nobody in my family's sick. Amongst this pandemic. I mean, where do I start? Where do I start? The majority of us are not locked down, but you know, in Michigan, I live in Michigan, and we've got an order to stay home and stay safe, unless of course you're an essential employee. So, I know the last chit chat we had, I said I'm going to have my grandkids and we're just going to hunker down. Well, that changed, unfortunately, because I'm scared. Okay, not panicked, but I'm very, very, very scared. So I told my children that, you know, you've got to either stay home with your kids because they can't be here, because I love my grandbabies, but we all know the little grandbabies are like walking petri dishes, so they can spread this around and not even realize it. And the reason why I'm so afraid of this is, one, I don't want to get it, but I don't want my parents to get it. You all know that both my parents are, battling cancer, and I am so afraid that this would just put them right over the edge. So I'm doing every precaution possible. I'm probably going overboard with it because I am cooped up in this house. And now I go out in the yard. I've done, I've raked and take care of the chickens, but I don't much leave. I left once. I'm here all the time because I work from home. My husband works out and about. And in fact, he is doing emergency deliveries with his semi. So his restrictions have been lifted. He's driving and he's not regulated by any hours of operation. He just drives what he can and he sleeps. And he drives and he sleeps and so on and so forth, and does his best to help, deliver food, products, whatever is needed, wherever it's needed. Bless his heart. He's such a good-hearted man. But I worry. I sent him with gloves, with Lysol wipes, he doesn't have a face mask, but, the Lysol spray. We set him up in his truck so he really, with the exception of the restroom, he doesn't have to leave the truck except to, either hook up to the trailer or, have very minimal contact with anybody. So, but I still worry because he's like, oh, it's just a bad flu. Oh, no, honey, it's not just a bad flu. It's a little worse than that. I don't shut down America for a bad flu. Yeah. I'm sure you women know how you get a little snappy with the husband when they don't take it serious. It's just too funny. I'm just a typical woman. But anyway, so I'm here by myself. Obviously, I don't need to go to the grocery store. My pantry's already stocked. And you'll see the video. My husband, when he was home last, he rebuilt all these shelves. They're gorgeous. I don't know if you can see. It's the same height as my old one, because we used the 2 end pieces, but it's like 8 feet long. And it's like, oh, I could fit all my canned goods stuff on it. With the exception of some of that are in my closet. I've got stored in there. But, so I'm here alone, and you never think about it. I'm at home for days without going anywhere. Except when my grandkids were in school, I might go to pick them up, or, might run to the local butcher now and then. But I'm usually home here days. I do my YouTube, I do my cookbook, I take care of my chickens, and I just stay home. I'm a homebody. But now that, we're not supposed to leave, and I really have no reason to go out, because the only place I would need to go is the grocery store, and I don't need that. However, I did go to the hardware, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, now that we can't go out, now is when you start to itch. It's like, oh, I got to be able to go. I got to go here, or I got to go there. You can think of 100 different places and things you can go and do. But so I don't know. I just stay in here because I'm afraid. And my mother says the other day, she said, well, I'd like to come down and help plant in the greenhouse, because of course I got that all going, and that's another story too. And I said, no, you stay home. I am hiding her out in her house like a dust ball. I won't let her go out anywhere. Now, she did have to go up to the hospital for a brain scan and a PET scan. And she said they met her at the door, they put on her protective gear, everything on her, and took her right to the x-ray, did the test, walked her back out to the car, and that was the end of it. She said she didn't touch anything, she didn't talk to anybody, she maintained her distance, and that was done. I thought, that's fantastic. So anyway, so I hope she's okay, and she didn't get exposed to anything. And I don't have to go anywhere. I've got my pantry stocked. Oh my gosh, I probably wouldn't have to leave this house for a year or better with all the food that's in here, and it's just me here right now. So I'm set. I don't need to go to the grocery store. I bake bread, a loaf of bread every few days. Nothing major. I'm not a milk drinker, so I don't got to go to the store for that. And I got like 30 pounds of butter in my freezer, so I'm good for a while, But I did go to the hardware, because when my husband was home, we didn't go anywhere. And, we just did stuff here. And we did this shelf, of course, but we also finished the shelving in the greenhouse. And so that's all done. So now I can start planting all my stuff in there. So with that being all done, I thought, I gotta go to the hardware, but I'm almost scared to go anywhere and be near anybody, because you just never know. And I almost need a hazmat suit, and then I'll be okay to go out, I'm terrible, but I worry about my appearance. There's a reasoning behind my madness. So anyway, I called up to the hardware, and I said, okay. I said, are you guys open? Because there's a few things I want to get, and I'm just going to get it all right now. Everything, so I don't have to go back up there at all. And he said, well, yes and no. He said, hang on a minute. He said, yes, we're open, but no, you can't come in. And he said, you just give us your order over the phone, pay for it over the phone, and we'll do curbside. He said, you just pull up, we'll put it in the back of your car, and away you go. And I thought, well, how convenient is that? I almost love that, So I got all my wood. They had extra wood that they had on clearance up there. It was just 4 feet long. Pieces that were 2 by 8 by 4 feet long. And I thought, those are going to be nice for little raised beds. So I picked up like 24 of them. I'm not sure how many raised beds I want, but I did pick up 24 boards. And then I picked up all my potting soil, and I got organic, by the way. I was just ecstatic, because I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to get the organic stuff, but I did. And so that's all set. And then I got I got some Miracle Grow potting soil too. I like that stuff. Anyway, so that's all set, and I'm ready to plant everything. So I'm going to be out there probably tomorrow, and I'll bring you with me. We'll do I'll show you the greenhouse, and we'll do a chit chat out there or whatever. But my mother is just dying to come down here and play in the dirt. And I'm telling you, there's nothing, when you're a gardener and you love growing things and planting things, there's nothing more peaceful and stress relieving than either digging in your garden or planting seeds or, taking care of your little greenhouse, planting flowers, picking flowers, smelling flowers, anything that has to do with the greenhouse. It's like the biggest stress reliever for me. I walk out of this house. I love my house, don't get me wrong. But I walk out of this house and I go out into my greenhouse and I shut the door behind me, and it's like just walking into a whole new world, and I just get lost in it, and I absolutely love it. And that is probably why my yard looks like a jungle in the summertime, because I grow so much stuff. And this year I've upped my bean seeds and everything. I got my big gallon jar of beans there, but I'm growing all kinds more beans and just so much stuff this year. I'm so excited. My area I've got by my pond, that's going to be all herbs and flowers, and it gets partial shade, so it's not, in the beaten down sun. So I think a lot of my herbs and the flowers will do quite well there. So that's what that's going to be. And then when I lined it last year, I lined it with all the chimney blocks, because when they redid our roof, they took out the chimney for us. And I put all the blocks around that. So it's going to be really pretty this year. Thank God we can go outside. And my heart goes out to anybody who's either had this, or loved ones have had this, or lost a loved one. My heart goes out to you. You are all in my prayers, though I don't know who you are, but I pray every day for everybody that we can get past this. And I know we've lost a lot, and even losing one person is too much. So anyway, with that being said, I just wanted to make sure that you're all in my prayers. And oh my gosh, right here, my beautiful maple syrup. It tastes wonderful. I wish I could send you all a bottle of it. Jeez, is it ever good. And it tastes so good with that chamomile tea. It's like, ooh, yum, yum. And it's healthy for you. And I didn't realize that. I did not realize how healthy maple syrup was for you. Maple sap, raw maple sap is even healthier. That's got magnesium, potassium, calcium. It's wonderful for you. I didn't know it. I had a bunch left over. Well, not a bunch, probably a gallon left over in my one barrel. So I dumped it in a bowl, and the chickens were just drinking it. And I thought, you just drink that up, girls, because that's good for you. Oh, the duck just gobbled it down. They like that. So anyway, that's what we've been doing. We got the shelves done in here, and this was just a disaster, but it's all like immaculate. When we took that out, I washed all the walls down here again. Now, the last time I washed the walls was when I got infested with them damn pantry moths. Well, friends, I haven't had them since, because that last time I went through and I gutted this room and I bleached everything down. I washed everything, and I mean everything. Put it all back. I never had pantry moths since. I got rid of them. So this time through, when I went through, we moved all this stuff out of our way, and when I put it all back, I washed everything again. I washed the wall. I washed the wall behind the shelf as far up as I could reach, and I washed everything. So it just sparkles. You can see my jars, they just sparkle. Checked all the lids. All my lids are nice on my jars. I actually found some stuff, because I had, on my old shelf, I had some of my pint jars double stacked, which that's personal preference. You could do it. It's probably not wise to stack them on top of each other, but I did use cardboard in between. And again, that's just personal preference. Some people don't like it. I've never had no trouble with it. But now it's all on single shelves, and there's nothing double stacked. And I found strawberries. Oh, they're still good. They're from 2017, so they're okay. I want to get them used up this year. And I found some more apple butter. So I thought I was out. Anyway, I went over to, well, I got the hiccups. I went over to Pineview. It's probably been about 2 weeks now that I went over to Pineview. I mean, I think it was the day they closed down schools in Michigan. And we went over there to Lake City, Dave and I, because we went to the Amish shop, and that was when we were buying our supplies for the taps for the maple syrup. So I went over there, and they said they were going to be closed down for 3 weeks. The schools were going to be closed for 3 weeks. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get snacks and stuff and odds and ends and, stock up the pantry a little bit, beef it up a little bit, because I figured the babies would be here. So no, I changed that, because I can't chance my mother or my father getting a hold of this. Not for me anyway. So I got all this extra stuff in the pantry, which is okay, because it will get used up and it's not going to go bad anytime soon. But on another note, and I never, ever, 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 ever talk politics on my channel. Nobody knows my political standing, and nobody will ever know it. Nobody knows my religious standpoint, and nobody will ever know it. This is just not a place to discuss either, because we all have different opinions. But I'm not going to talk politics, but I have been, and I'm sure many, many of you have as well, have been watching to see exactly how that relief bill is going to play out. And I was so curious, because they said, well, they're going to give us a stimulus package that's going to be an exceptional amount of money. And it is, but then again, it isn't. You can never, in a time like this, when you're afraid, you want more and as much as you can get to protect yourself. But apparently, the Senate did vote last night on it. And, it was last night. They finally cast their vote on it. 96-0. I was surprised. Anyway, so the House is going to vote on it Friday morning at 9 o'clock. And then it's going to be done. And they figure they won't have any trouble passing it on Friday. So, but anyway, in this supposed bill, because, you don't put your horse before the cart before the horse. You don't count your chickens before they hatch. We're supposed to get about, I think they said $1,200 per person, $2,400 for a married couple, and I don't know if it was included for an extra $500 for children or not. I'm not sure how that went. I just seen the John and I file our taxes together, so I seen the $2,400 for couples, $1,200 for single. And if we get that, how blessed that would be, because especially during a time like this, I mean, the power companies supposedly aren't shutting anybody off for those people who are out of work right now, and they might be waiting for unemployment. I don't know how your state works. Our state's almost immediate right now, but I'm sure there's people that are hurting right now, so that money would come in handy for them. But if you're the person that has that little extra nest egg and this extra money is coming in, my gosh, it would be the most perfect opportunity to stock up a pantry if you don't have one. Perfect. I'm not talking the whole amount. I mean, you could take $100 and it hit sales, well, you won't be able to do it right now. And I wouldn't advise anybody to go out right now. Just stay home and stay safe. Put that money in a piggy bank. You know, hide that $100 away. And when this is done and we're opened up, and you know, God forbid we get through this, then you can take that $100 and hit some sales, because you're going to have a lot of sales, because the way people are wiping out the shelves right now, and the toilet paper, and they're just panic shopping. You know, the way people are doing that right now, you're bound to have some good sales when this is done. And that, friends, is when you go get your pantry stocked up. Fantastic. I don't care if you put it in boxes under your bed. You know, just get yourself a little working pantry going. And it could be in boxes, it could be in bags, it could be in your garage, it could be in your basement, up in your closet, under your bed, wherever. But you know what? Stock it up. Stock it up. So many people always, you know, there might be some of you out there that do this too, and that's fine, that's fine. This is just my opinion. So many people ridicule the preppers. Well, I'm not a prepper, but I got a hell of a pantry going on. I'll tell you that right now. And I probably got enough food for well more than a year for my husband and I. But they ridicule the preppers, that they're just food hoarders. They're just food hoarders. But you know what? All them preppers and all those folks, myself included, that when this pandemic hit, that was the last thing we needed to worry about, was going to get groceries. You know, if you wanted to go to the store like I did just to pick up a few snacks for the kids for the 3 weeks that they were going to be here, that's one thing. But I was not, you know, raping the shelves, that's for sure. So, you know, then after this, after we get through this, God forbid, the preppers they're not going to be ridiculing them so much anymore, you know, because they're some smart folks. Some smart folks. You always stock up. People put money in the bank. They hide money in their mattress. They hide it in their bedpost. They hide wherever, whatever. You save money. You always got a nest egg somewhere. Well, I always tell people, food in your cupboards is just like money in the bank. So stock up that pantry. If you get a little extra money from the government, who knows how big the carrot's going to be that they throw to us? Stock up some pantry. Or hide it away in a nest egg. But that's what I would do. And if you want to do that and you're not sure how to get started and you don't have a working pantry, that's real easy too. You just sit down, get yourself a piece of paper, a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee, a pencil, and start writing down things that your family likes to eat. List all the things they like to eat. List the things that you would like to have extra on hand. And make your list that way. And then just as you're filling your pantry up, as you go shopping each week or whatever, start checking off that list. It's not hard to do at all. Same way with, I don't meal plan. I'm here by myself. You know, some nights I don't even eat dinner. I don't meal plan, but people that do, you know, when I did meal plan before, if I had people come in or my grandbaby's going to be here, I'd do a little bit of a meal plan, and I'd always see what was in the freezer that needed to be used up first, and, you know, on my shelves, the jars of goods that needed to be used up first, and that's what I would plan my meals around. It's not hard to do at all. But now is the perfect time, like I said, to stock that pantry or get your pantry started. So that you can be prepared for if this ever happens again, which obviously it will. I mean, we've had pandemics before. This isn't the first, and it's bound not to be the last. So anyway, the maple syrup went good when we put that together. You're going to see the video, or you already saw the video? I think you already saw the video. I think that was up yesterday. And I did lose a little bit of footage from it, but you got the general idea. And I've already dispersed some of the maple syrup to my family. And that was before we got, you know, orders to stay home. Which I worry about my kids, because my son, he's a mechanic and his job is essential. And both of my daughters work at the post office and they're essential employees. So I do worry. I'm just a worrywart. I'm an old worrywart. Worry all the time, you know. But what do you do? I've had my nose stuck in that news for the last week and a half. It's like I'm glued to it, and it's like finally I just thought to myself, you got to get the hell away from this. It just, all it is it's so much panic and hysteria. It's like, oh my goodness, you know. I just hope everything goes good with it, and I hope that you know, so many of us, I hope that a lot of us are okay. I hope everybody's okay, but that's not going to happen either. They've got so many cases of it. And then the oddest thing, that so many people are walking around that have it that don't even know it. Or, you know, they have a little mild head cold and it was COVID-19. And yet somebody in the hospital gets hit with it and they die. It's like, I don't get it, but I'm not medically inclined at all. I love Dr. Fauci, though. The man is brilliant. Dr. Fauci, I have listened to him for the last 2 weeks. I don't miss a day. And I just love that man. He tells it like it is, and it's all facts. He does not lie. So if you haven't heard of Dr. Fauci, watch him. He's fantastic. I'm just curious to find if that hydrochloroquine and what is it, the zithromycin that they're testing in New York, I'm just right on the edge of my seat to see if that's going to actually work for a treatment, and how many more drugs they got out that they can use for treatment. All you can do is pray at this time that we don't lose any more people. God forbid our elderly, we got to protect them. And you know, there's a few elderly people in town here, but they're pretty well taken care of. And you know, I've always been the one that in a time of crisis, what have I got? Food. I go running with food. I'll feed you. You know, I can't do much more else for you, but I'll feed you. And I'd be the one to run to the neighbors or whoever needed something. I'd go take it to them. Well, I still would. I just wouldn't go near them, you know. And it's like, you just go up to the door, set it on the porch, knock on the door, and run like hell. Be like when you were a little kid, knock on doors and run. Except there's a surprise there for them when they open the door, you know. But, in fact, that's what my one daughter does. She called me up the other day, and she said, Mom, I don't want to go to the store, and I need flour. And I said, I got lots of flour. What do you need? How much do you need? You know, she's like, well, if you got a 5-pound bag, that'd be good. I said, that sounds good, but I'll make a trade with you. I said, because I need some shampoo. I said, I'm almost out of shampoo, and I'm not going to the store to buy shampoo. I'll use dish soap first, you know. So I packed her up that. I gave her maple syrup, and I put some extra goodies in a box for her, put it out on my back porch on my one little potting table, and I always keep my door shut and locked. So here she comes with her bottle of alcohol, and she's spraying everything, and I'm in here just about dying laughing. She's spraying everything. She puts my shampoo and my wipes. She got me Clorox wipes and some hand sanitizer. And she put that there, grabbed her box, and took off. And I just thought it was so funny because she's got her bottle of alcohol spraying everything. That's too funny. But you see, if that's what you can do, that's the best way to do it, because that's a sure way to slow it down. it spreads, I guess they say this COVID-19 spreads 3 times faster than our, average flu. So, it's a scary thing though. But anyway, so with that being said, I have been, not really bored out of my mind, but you can only clean your house so much. When you're stuck inside, I'm by myself. Thank God I got my phone. I talk to my family every day. I go outside. I've been raking out in my yard, been getting my flower beds cleaned out and everything ready. And the girls, again, I let them out. I like to let the chickens out about an hour before dark, because then they for some reason they hang around my front yard here, out by this area, and then they go in at dark. But the other day I forgot to lock them up, and I'll let them go in at dark, and then I'll run out there before I go to bed and I'll shut and lock their doors. Well, I forgot the other day, and I wake up in the morning and I'm sitting at the coffee and my husband's like, well, the chickens are running around the yard. And I'm like, oh crap. I'll tell you what, they were clear to the neighbor's house. They were out in the road. They were here and there and everywhere, and I could not get them in to save my life. Ripping up my neighbor's flower bed. It's like, oh no. You know what? Well, thank God I got a greenhouse, because I can give her all the flowers she wants. But yeah, that was my fault. And boy, they took advantage of that. They were having a ball going out to lunch. So anyway, but with that being said, I'm going to go, and I think I'm going to go outside and do some raking and let the chickens out in a little bit for their, hour or so. I did take some of the tarps off their chicken house so that they had, some light and some fresh air blowing in there, because I got to keep them in there quite a bit. They're too destructive. They tear the hell out of everything. I don't mind them ripping in my beds, because none of my beds have anything growing in them right now. And I kind of like the idea of them rooting around and pooing in there and, scratching out the compost. But I can't have them going to my neighbor. Bless her heart, she's a doll. I can't have them going over there and tearing up her flowers. I hope we all get through this just fine. Stay home, stay safe, and keep yourself healthy. Wash your hands, wash everything. So, I will talk to you in a few days, and you all have a good day.